Hello, welcome everybody to another episode of Jobless Weebs, or Viral Hits. Oh wait, no! And of course, Brian here. This is episode 142, and of course, as always...
I don't think we're.
Oh
I don't think we're built for that challenge, that channel anymore, Brian. It's like, no. Nor me and you are physically fit. Which, granted, the DMC of the anime that we're going to talk about today, but...
Isn't either. Yeah, no. But, yeah, be that as it may.
We still have the idea there. If we find Mr. Beast, we can try to punch him and see how it goes.
See how it goes. Oh, man.
Or any of those famous YouTubers, and you're
like, yes.
Think if I try to beat him up, I'll gain more subscribers? But no, that's not what we're aiming for. So.
Yeah. Yep. Well, how's your week so far?
It's been terrible. Yeah, thanks for asking.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, mine was pretty okay. It kind of flew by, so we're here.
I mean, mine also flew by, but for way different reasons. Probably I'm like the antithesis of how your week was.
Yeah, probably. Well, as anybody may have guessed by now, we're going to talk about the anime Viral Hits.
Yeah, and then we're going to fight.
And then, no.
So make your bets. The big brown Mexican
or me, little old me. So this anime is all about fighting. It is adapted from a Korean comic, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, it's manga.
Yeah. And it is a wacky one. It sure is. Like, man, it was first coming out, we were like, what is going on? Like,
we talk about it with what we've been watching, and
yes.
I don't know, man. I mean, you probably liked it, but for the entire 12 episodes, I was so mad.
You were?
Like, I was so angry at the characters.
At the characters. Okay.
I mean, characters and plot, I really want them to slap them.
Well,
all of them.
Well, yeah, they are all pretty dumb. Well, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
For what reason? Like them just being the way they are.
Yeah, them being just stupid kids, you know.
Oh, I can
it's like those stupid kids that just wanna
make a buck.
Yeah, but do YouTube because they wanna do stupid things, but it's not like they're doing stupid things with themselves. They're doing stupid things to others.
And that I could agree with isn't.
It's like
great. Yeah.
And it's like, well, you also do YouTube, but it's like, but way different. We're doing podcasts. We're talking about channels. We're doing Beat Saber. It's like, we do not interact with the outside world. The outside world is not part of our content.
That's true.
And in those, I was like,
that's a fair point.
I just want to grab it. And I was like,
oh my, wow.
He's like, you want your viral hit? I'm gonna give you your viral hit.
Oh no! Oh yes! Wow.
But I have a lot of comments. In all. So let's just
jump into it.
Into it because it's like, man, I don't know. It's like, I don't know if that was the purpose of of the author to make your blood boil just by reading, getting mad at the MC of how stupid he is. Or getting mad at the antagonists,
right? And
of how stupid they are in a different sense.
Oh yes, with the context and everything. Yeah,
that's
fair.
The second thing was like, "Are you okay, South Korea?"
Oh right, yeah.
We said it on the What We Be Watching. We said it again. Like, are you guys okay? It's like, blink twice or something like. Because I've known a lot of Korean guys, as I said it on the What We Be Watching, and they're really chill. Like, they wouldn't hurt a fly. Like, they're the most peaceful people. It's like, even when there were situations where they were supposed to get mad, they didn't. And I was like, dude, get mad. And I was like, it's fine. It's like
they're really chill. They're
so
very polite. Yeah,
so yeah.
I could agree.
Seeing and this is not stereotyping or generalizing, but seeing
Mhm.
this anime, this community
Mhm.
being so wacky and out of the norm,
Oh yes.
and just crazy for
Oh right.
this internet fame. It's like kind of like
Shape up.
okay, I don't know,
Yeah.
like these are not the Koreans that I know and that I
yes.
like.
Oh yes, yeah. This anime, it starts out with bullying in the first place and people trying to get views on their channels, and that's like the whole reason of them the way they are. But I do want to say for this first part, we have our main character. He's getting bullied. He's hating this like channel from this guy named Bakko, and we'll probably butcher some of these names since they're
As we always do.
as we always do. Yeah, and Korean names I'm not as familiar with. But yes, Bakko. He's basically, he's like a hit on YouTube. That's their version of streaming and stuff, and he's had the main character, Hobin, get his face painted with like a very embarrassing way, I guess, or very not great way, since he's also not part of like the earnings that the guy is making. But so he's like bullying him, antagonizing him, and the thing is, he's acting differently than he usually acts on camera. So that's also a huge.
That is
red
one of the
flag.
things
That's,
that ticked me off.
yes,
It was like these nice guys like, hello guys, how are you?
right.
Like welcome to my channel. And he was doing a collab with this girl that is super hot, and she also has a channel. And just because she's hot and showing the good stuff, has a lot of subscribers now. And they're like, oh yeah, we're not bullying him. He's doing this because he actually agreed to help us. And then they stopped the streaming, and it's like, you piece of crap, and they start kind of like beating on him
because he didn't like address the crowd, the audience very well. But this one guy, Snapper, the blonde-haired kid, he really rails on him. But the main character, Hobin, he's fed up with it, as per usual. But it's kind of odd that he doesn't stand up for himself at this point in time. And then we get to see a few more people, but he goes home and he also has his like bank account used by this guy, and Snapper, he's at his home also doing like video games and
because Snapper is seeing him as an easy target. He's just going on with the flow. It's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna use your house because your mom is dead, right? Or well, true to be told, like his mom's not dead. His mom is like really sick in the hospital, so he's living by himself. He works some part-time jobs at McDonald's or sort of stuff, just making burgers. His life is miserable, okay? It's like, like his life is miserable. It's like doesn't have a dad, mom, sick, poor, bullied. It's like he only just needs like a bolt of lightning to finish him off.
Oh gosh,
that doesn't happen. Kind of.
Right.
But and as always, we're gonna skip a lot of a lot of stuff just so that we only do the highlights, analyze all the messed up stuff. And if you're like that, just go to therapy.
Yes.
But going on, Snapper is doing these gameplay videos, and he's streaming,
and he's also having
and Hobin snaps. Finally, he snaps.
That's right.
And he unplugs the computer.
He trips over the cord.
Oh because he was bringing over some like snacks or something, right?
That's right. I think it was like kimchi. I'm not too well versed, but he comes over, he trips over the cord, and he just spills the
the screen
pot
goes
all over
out.
the guy. Yeah.
And the guy also snaps. They
Yep.
start fighting, and he even grabs the food. I don't know, like if it was something, but he starts slapping him with it. And but you can see that, like, you know, the webcam is still, you know, flashing
Still
with the red
on,
light,
yeah.
and the guy feels miserable because, like, all right, yeah, like that was it, like,
right, and he goes to sleep.
I cannot go any deeper.
Yep.
And then he receives a call from that guy, like crying, telling him like to delete the video. And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, well, when you tripped, you actually didn't turn off the computer. You only turned off the screen. It was still streaming, and then once the streaming ends, the video will get uploaded automatically.
Right, onto the channel.
And so
the whole fight was captured on camera, and it was, you know, streamed globally. So he was really, you know, taken for a hit for spin,
and he checks and he has money, and it's like, damn. So
because
it's like,
it's so crazy.
Just imagine if I were to try that, I would be deported, Brian.
Right? Yeah, it's wacky business. It's crazy. Yeah, and then they calculate it. It's like 0.1 yen for each view, something like that. And then Hobin, he's like, oh, this is like making me money. No way! Like, this is great, kind of a thing. Snapper, he kind of doesn't like it, since, you know, it's him in the video, but, you know, they Snapper kind of gets the idea, hey, let's continue doing this to make money, and it's like, okay, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, like, oh, what a great idea.
Right.
Like, sure.
Yeah, it's quite something. And then, so Snapper, he offers, hey, like 90 for me and 10 for you, since I'm going to be the one producing it and that stuff. But of course, Hobin, he doesn't want to do that. He finally settles on 90 for himself and 10 for Snapper.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, you realize how much editing takes, like, you know, definitely. But yeah, it blew my mind. Like,
we're gonna go 90-10, Brian, once we
no. Right, there's a lot.
It's good that you bring it up, because no. We're not even there yet, Brian, so don't worry.
We're not even. Yeah, and so he says, hey, like, our content is going to be you calling out bullies, and go from that. So he agrees with it, and yeah, as we said, we're gonna skip a ton of details, a ton of stuff, because a lot of it is just that, a whole lot of build up to the actual fights. Even the fights are pretty, like, one-sided for quite a while. Poor guy.
All the time. You know, one of the things that defines this anime is that these guys seems to be like the lowest underdog.
Right.
Like the lowest of the lowest.
Right. They're
underdogs.
They're at the lowest.
And you know, that's what makes you keep watching it, because you're like, this is garbage. I'm mad at this anime.
Right.
Why the heck am I still watching this guy being beat up?
Exactly.
And the other thing is that this guy, it's pretty much putting to practice the theory of another channel that it's from a really buff rooster.
Yeah. Right. This guy, he records himself with a rooster.
And the thing is that this rooster has like a really few views.
Yeah, like 0. And the funny thing is he finds this channel only because he misspelled how to fight, and he found it because the channel's name was misspelled too. So it was like he stumbled upon it by accident, and he finds it. And he watches it, and it's channel basically tailored for him, for like
for like
a total
even the
amateur, how
rooster
to
is kind of like
fight.
talking to him. It's like,
Yeah,
hey,
like
if you're gonna fight against the bully,
like
you don't have a chance.
You don't have a chance. It's
It's like,
impossible.
and as he goes, progressing against these bullies, either
Yes.
in number or strength or
Oh,
for
yeah.
whatever reason,
Right.
he's like,
Different
hey,
style of fighting.
I'm gonna teach you how to be a professional fighter. It's like, that's
Right.
oddly specific, but okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
I'm listening. Yeah. So already you're thinking like, this guy has no chance. He's super small. He's super scrawny. Like, what is he gonna do? But this channel is to help him, like, beat the odds, basically. And so the first one is, and I have my handy notes.
Oh, go for it.
The first one is, of course, rule number 1. We start with the rule: never get worked up for a fight, basically, because when you get riled up, you lose your cool, you make rookie mistakes, and you lose the fight. Like, you get beat up, basically. And then he says lesson 1 is how to get hit without getting hurt. And I was like, yeah, exactly. Like, that's your reaction. It's like, what? No way. But he tells him how to do it. He like gives him a regime to work on, and he.
I mean, it does have some truth.
It does.
Like, so
yeah.
it does
There's
go over some basic stuff, or even kind of like advanced stuff on fighting. Either martial arts or kind of like street fights.
Yes. Yes.
So it's kind of like accurate to some degree,
to a certain extent.
But
right.
It's an anime, so it has to be exaggerated, like
definitely.
way much.
Oh yes, yeah, it's highly exaggerated. Yeah, but yes, he does it. He does it for like a month. He starts working out. He starts swimming. Swimming is a really good endurance activity, though. That's
in
real.
a bathhouse.
But yeah, he does it in a bathhouse. Oh my gosh, when I was watching it for the first time, I almost stopped watching it around then. But he does it. He sticks to it for a whole month. He practices low kick. He practices like sit-ups. He practices swimming. All that stuff with like closed fists, and it's like, that's weird. But yeah, he goes. He confronts the bully. He of course, with the guy recording, so he gets it all online in the video. But he starts the fight with this guy, and they're at school, and everybody is surrounding them, like, or everybody's around them, and they're like, no way is he gonna win. And we're like, also like, no way is he gonna win. He's a big guy.
But at the same time, it's the protagonist, so it's like,
right,
he's gonna get extremely beat up.
Yeah.
But against all odds, he's gonna pull his lucky shot.
Exactly.
Which he does.
Yep.
But for this first enemy, which is taekwondo, it actually builds up a lot, because
it does,
because
like 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah, it was this process of him just standing up to him, and then Paco was like, whatever.
Right.
But then he was caught on camera, and then Paco was apologizing because he was apparently this really nice guy. Right. But then he started bullying him again and fighting him, and it was then until the final episode, or kind of like episode number 4 of his arc. Yes. That he starts fighting him, and he wins, and everyone is like, what the heck, losing their minds, and the guy is like, no way. Yeah, that's how you beat a guy.
Yep.
Bigger than me, a regular guy. Like and subscribe, and
right,
and it's like,
right, it's all for all for the views.
Exactly, yeah. And the next guy, was it the taekwondo guy?
Yes, the taekwondo. Yep, he's the next guy. Taehoon. Yes, I would say for this part, it is kind of set up in a way that everything's to the guy's advantage. which is quite interesting. He goes to the channel that he found, the How to Fight channel, and let's see here. For him, it basically says, like how to beat a taekwondo fighter in a fight as a regular person, and he tells him it's impossible. Again, and I was like, oh, okay, right. And then Hobin, he's a funny guy. He watches these videos and he also tries to, incorporate into how he trains. So for this one, he basically is told, you gotta control the environment. You gotta change it so that everything is in your favor, so you can win. We also see a little bit more about Bomi, who is his crush, basically the girl who's working at McDonald's.
She's the childhood friend of one of his classmates that is one of like the youngest MMA fighters, and apparently he's one of the champions. Or he's a good one.
Oh yes, he is.
And like somehow he's like his guardian angel.
Oh yes,
because Hobin and
like that,
the rest of the crew, because it's Snapper, and later on they hire a girl editor.
Yes,
but still, this guy always kind of like ends up saving Hobin after a fight is done, just like they're looking really imposing.
Right, because he's really tall. He's like, he has looks, he has everything. It's so funny, and it's kind of interesting how they interact with each other, since they pretty much meet everyone on the streets, like out of school. So that is just a little bit weird to me, with like the coincidence, all the coincidences and whatnot. Well, with the fight, he's told, you got to control the environment, try to do it on like a place or a day in which you can like constrict the fighter's kicks, since taekwondo is all about the kicks, apparently. And so Hobin, he tries to do it on a rainy day, but it stops raining. So it's like, sunny. What the freak? So it doesn't work quite the way he wanted it to. He goes into a
public
restroom. Yep. And then the floor is really, really wet, and it turns out he has water shoes. So
that was ridiculous.
It's just all ridiculous stuff. And it's like, are you serious? Like, he can't kick. I don't know. It's anime.
Physics in anime work different.
That's right. And it's quite a fight. It's quite interesting. This one, where he actually does restrict his movements, or it seems like that. And then he goes into he does the calf kick, and then he goes into the choke, the cross choke. Where you basically restrict the guy with his own clothes, and then choke him out for 10 seconds. But it doesn't work.
I mean, granted, it's like one of the things that seemed really dumb is that he's yelling the moves every time. He's like,
yes,
dude, why are you doing that? Like, I know it's a shonen. You don't have to do it. It's not mandatory to call out your moves.
Even though it is.
Kind of.
Right.
Like, calf kick. Punch. Like, dude, stop. Like, He's like,
that's true.
You are a newbie at this. You're putting yourself more at a disadvantage by calling out your moves.
Yes.
But turns out that everything was a trick.
Yep.
So that the guy could steal one of his shoes so he could start kicking again. And he's like, sure, Yeah, they're the same size, and now he can kick
No,
again and have like kick to that
yep.
Hobin, but it's like,
Oh, geez, no comment on that. Oh my gosh.
but then
Yeah.
you know, when Snapper is telling him like, just give up now. It's like you're gonna
Yes.
die this time for
Stop.
sure. Then the guy,
What are
you
you
know,
doing?
has his shonen moment
Yeah.
where he stands up and he's like, I didn't hear no bell, and
Yep. Give up is not in my vocabulary. Yep. He uses the stall bar to basically feint, like Taehoon, the taekwondo fighter. He kicks, but then Hobin goes over, tackles him, and then he does the baseball choke. Um, and it works.
it works. Yeah, it worked. I
Yeah.
mean, he almost kills him, and he had
Seriously,
such
yeah.
rush of adrenaline, and
Yeah.
you know, he's like,
Exactly, yeah.
he's just like remembering the video, and
Yep.
Snapper is like, dude, like,
Yep.
yeah,
He's like tapping
he's tapping out. He's like,
Yeah.
but and he's remembering the rooster guy saying like,
Mhm.
yeah, you know, no referees here, so
Count
pull
to
to your
10.
heart's content.
Yep.
Oh yeah, count to 10,
Count to
but
10, yep.
pull to your heart's content
Yep.
until it's like 10 seconds. That's when you're almost making him, you know, lose consciousness,
Yeah, exactly.
and that happens.
Yeah. And so the fight, he basically wins, and that's how that goes. So they keep their YouTube channel, which was online, since the other guy, he gets kicks out of like harassing others, like, oh, give me 100 yen.
For
It's
the
so
arcade.
weird. Yeah. But
Well,
anyway,
the thing
yeah,
is that, you know, all his fights are because of that.
seriously, yeah, they really are.
Because the next fight, it's, you know, this group of younger students by a year, because he's a second year, right?
Yes, he's a second year. Yep.
Mm.
And so this group of first years, they're the comedy crew. They have like their own channel where they do pranks.
Yeah, they throw stuff, or they make fun of it.
Which is like not great.
Those type of
a
people
lot.
make me even madder. You know, I haven't found
yes.
those yet,
Mm.
and I pray I do not.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Because he's like, you know
the
what?
ones
Like comedy
use,
ones, yeah, those are fine.
Yeah.
But if you're just making pranks and they're like, hey, can I upload the video and you on MeTube, or and it's like, no, it's like, stop doing that. You
right.
Yeah, that got me really
it
mad.
Work very well.
And
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's because, you know, I'm older now, but I don't think that even then, you know, back when I was younger, I would have been attracted to that kind of content. But
true,
either way, like, you know, these guys are harassing all of Hobin's friends and Hobin.
Oh yes, yeah.
And they also end up making a prank on the crush that
yes,
Hobin likes. What was her name again?
Bomi.
Bomi, yeah, on Bomi.
Yep. And that didn't go so well either.
Yeah, because she hurt her ankle, and she got hit by a car, and those guys were like, "Yeah, we can still work with that." It's like,
we could still
what the
freak?
Oh,
and they're laughing. They're laughing.
Yeah, they were laughing at it.
Yeah, so all around not great people. And so now he goes to the channel How to Fight, and it's like, how do you fight multiple people? You don't. It's impossible. And it's like, finally we realize, like, you know, you just can't do it. But and then he does the but if you're surrounded by multiple enemies, go to nature, try to intimidate first.
Yeah,
I thought that was kind of funny. I mean, he's right, because when you are fighting multiple people, yeah, you have no chance at all.
Whatever anime says, it's not right.
That's right. Just don't do it. Don't try.
Yeah, life is not an anime. Don't try it.
Yeah.
Don't try it at home or outside.
Or outside. Oh, right.
But yeah, you know
But
what? He decides to intimidate him. He just pulls a couple calf kicks on the.
He does control the environment really well.
Yeah.
When he runs into the
because
alley.
he's even looking intimidating. Like
right. He does try, and it kind of works. And he does hurt them a little bit. But yeah.
And they didn't fight.
Yeah.
But they didn't fight as is. They just ended up chasing them, but then they were exposed, and
then and that's how they were.
And then they got
kicked off. Exactly. Yep. So yeah, for Hobin and crew, it works for them. And then I thought this next fight was pretty interesting. With the huge guy. It was. But with the huge guy.
He was 17. He's like, how in the world is that 17 years old?
And he's at the apex of Korean wrestling, which I forget the name, Sesurim, something like that. But it's a very specific way of wrestling where you try to stay on your feet, you grapple the other person.
It was like sumo, right? Like
it is very it's similar to sumo.
Not sumo, but pretty similar to sumo.
Similar to sumo, that's right. Yeah, similar rules too, if I looked into that correctly. But yes, so totally different way of fighting. Grapplers, they are very different way of fighting than like striking, like taekwondo. Grappling, in that one, you try to make your opponent go on their back or like touch the ground or toss them out of the ring, basically.
Yeah.
So and this one he also tells him it's impossible. So now that I realize it, the channel How to Fight, the Rooster guy, he has good recommendations of how to fight. But always with the caveat,
his overall recommendation is don't.
Don't. Yeah, basically, which I appreciate. If you're new to fighting and you're trying to fight for real,
don't.
Yeah, because you need training. You need to work at it and learn how to do it.
I guess. Well, anyway. I guess the only thing would be unless you're making money out of it, maybe.
Oh, sure.
But don't.
Right, because that's a lot of risk on the line. Yeah. Well, for this one, there are some things. The guy is like harassing Bomi. He's like
he's been a creep.
Guy. He's being a creep, right? So he tries to fight him, and he's actually fighting him, and he's doing like the back run.
Yeah, because he goes on to his training arc with the guy that he beat, and like the Taekwondo guy, and he teaches him the ultimate Taekwondo technique.
Yeah,
they go into some backstory,
right? And it's like really cool.
The
the
thing that kind of like I was like, the heck is this? Because it wasn't the fight. Everything was like, it looked like impossible for him to win because it was impossible. Yes. Even when he pulled the ultimate Taekwondo technique of the kick that he ended up, cracking those guys.
Oh yes, the crotch shit. Yeah,
glue balloons. That didn't even do it.
No.
He was about to lose, and then he just pulled his head, and even the guy at the beginning said like, "No, don't touch my head" or whatever. Yeah. He pulled his head, and he was getting bald, and I don't know. That's a bad thing apparently for Korean people.
It's very shameful,
and that's how the fight ended.
The fight
and then
ends.
They had a bro moment.
They did
of like I don't think I will be getting a girlfriend ever,
and they cry for him. Oh yeah,
it's
a very touching moment. Yeah.
What the heck am I watching? It's like
right, and this is the last 2 episodes of the anime too, so it's like
I don't know if I should say that this is garbage or hot garbage.
Right, right. When you look at it as a whole, yeah,
'Cause
it's fascinating. It draws us in, But
that's the worst
to
thing,
the
because you're like,
when
I'm gonna
you're
drop
getting
this
into it,
thing because this is so ridiculous.
uh-huh.
Like, I've had enough of this. Oh, of course he did that.
The next episode, right? You're still watching, yeah. Well, yeah. It's oh, jeez.
Because
was
it ended
quite
kind of like
fascinating.
in a good note
It did.
of like, oh, it turns out that this guy, he's not a creep, he's just kind of shy,
Yeah.
and
And then the whole world is like, oh yeah, like Compete,
yeah,
do your
and everyone is
best,
cheering for
keep
him. We're like, no,
fighting,
you'll
fighting.
get a girlfriend, dude. It's like, you're big, but it's gonna be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah.
and even the editor was like, oh, that was a cool bro moment. And he gains more subscribers. Even the dude gains more subscribers.
Yes. Yeah. So all in all, yeah, it's a good ending.
Like his mom is suddenly, well, getting better.
Yes, she was getting better.
And
also,
even now he has the money to pay for the interventions on the mom, whatever they are.
Yeah.
And
for like the surgery and whatnot. And so the date was set for the mom too. And yeah, that's how it ends on a good note.
But it was so ridiculous. I was like, dang, Brian, why are you making me watch?
I'm sorry.
Like, I think I prefer watching
garbage.
Hanamaru.
No
Hanamaru
way.
Kindergarten.
No, okay. Oh my gosh.
We're still gonna talk about my garbage anime. Don't worry.
Yes,
it's still there.
I'm looking forward to it.
But
I thought that was. I got a kick out of one. Well, anyway. Well, yes. Well, thanks for trying out this anime with us.
Yeah, and now we're gonna fight.
No.
All right, Brian.
So yeah,
I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to
Analyzing.
review the videos of the rooster.
You're right, because I'm at the huge disadvantage, obviously. Seriously, wow, yeah, like.
And guess what? I'm at home, so whatever the police says, it was in self-defense.
Self-defense. You have the home advantage. Oh man.
One more thing. Who the
Yeah.
heck was that rooster?
We never find out.
I'm thinking that the rooster was the sensei of the MMA guy.
Of the MMA, since he's.
I'm thinking that it's him.
Oh my gosh, you might be right.
Because even
You
like
might be right.
at the
Oh,
last
dude.
fight,
Yeah.
the MMA guy
We
was watching
see.
him at his dojo, or wherever he was training.
And his
And-
trainer
and his
was
trainer
a
was like-
foreigner,
Like a
Western.
foreigner, and he
he
was
knows
like
that.
explaining like, no, this is happening, and blah 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 blah, and it's like, you look familiar.
Dude,
So,
you might be right. And he even tells them, right? He even tells them, hey, like, are you watching? Like, he's intimidating them, in the funny accent that they have. But yeah, you might be totally right. I might just rewatch that a little bit.
I don't know
cool.
if I
That's
will
cool idea.
continue reading this story.
Right.
Maybe one of those days if I'm really, really bored.
Or if maybe there's another season. Anyway, yeah. Well, thanks for watching. It was quite the experience for us watching it.
Yeah.
I had a kick out of it. It was kind of funny.
If you don't see Brian next week, you know what already happened. So,
I'm so sorry. Please. Just let me go. Please.
all right, yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Actually, no, next week it's audiobook, so
Oh, yes.
it will give you time to recover, Brian.
Okay. Matinee.
See ya.